Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudire Shrivada Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanam Hridyantasto Bhadrani Vidunodi Sadam Nashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavada Seveya Bhagavadi Uttama Slogi Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Hare Krishna. Today I'm going to read Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 1, verses 18 and 19. Yatsat Vijikeshamano Rekeshu Nirvishya Yadeda Purvam Atyedi Durga Shrita Purjitarin Shineshu Kamam Vijaret Vipaschit. Yeah, anyone who Sad 6 Sabatnan adversaries Vijikeshamano desiring to conquer Griheshu in household life. Nirvishya having entered, Yededa must try, Purvam first, Atyedi conquers, Durga Ashridaha being in a fortified place, Urjita are in very strong enemies, Krishneshu decreased, Kamam lusty desires, Vijarit can go, Vibhaschid the most experienced learned. Translation and purport by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. One who is situated in household life and who systematically conquers his mind and five sense organs is like a king in his fortress who conquers his powerful enemies. After one has been trained in household life and his lusty desires have decreased, he can move anywhere without danger. Purport. The Vedic system of four varnas and four ashrams is very scientific, and its entire purpose is to enable one to control the senses. Before entering household life or grihastha ashrama, a student is fully trained to become Jitendriya, a conqueror of the senses. Such a mature student is allowed to become a householder, and because he was first trained in conquering his senses, he retires from household life and becomes Vanaprastha as soon as the strong waves of youthful life are past and he reaches the verge of old age at 50 years or slightly more. Then, after being further trained, he accepts sannyasa. He is then a fully learned and renounced person who can move anywhere and everywhere without fear of being captivated by material desires. The senses are considered very powerful enemies. As a king in a strong fortress can conquer powerful enemies, so a householder in Grihastha Ashrama household life can conquer the lusty desires of youth and be very secure when he takes Vanaprastha and Sannyasa. Text 19. Tvam to abjan nabangiri saroja kosha durga shrido nirjita satsavatna bhungeshwabhogan purushadidishtan vimukta sangha prakritim bhajasva. Tvam, yourself, to then Abjanabha of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose navel is like a lotus flower. Angry feet, Saroja, lotus, Kosha, hold, Durga, the stronghold, Asridaha, taken shelter of, Nirjida, conquered, Satsavatna, the six enemies, the mind and five senses, Bhungshva, enjoy, Iha, in the material world, Bhogan, enjoyable things, Purusha, by the Supreme Person, Adidishtan, extraordinarily ordered, Vimukta, liberated, Sangha, from material association, Prakritim, constitutional position, Bhajasva, enjoy. Translation. Lord Brahma continued, My dear Priyambada, seek shelter inside the opening in the lotus feet of the Lord, whose navel is also like a lotus. This conquer the six sense organs, the mind and knowledge acquiring senses. Accept material enjoyment because the Lord extraordinarily has ordered you to do this. You will thus always be liberated from material association and be able to carry out the Lord's orders in your constitutional position. Purport. There are three kinds of men within this material world. Those who are trying to enjoy the senses to the utmost are called karmis. Above them are the jnanis who try to conquer the urges of the senses, and above them are the yogis who have already conquered the senses. None of them have, however, are situated in a transcendental position. Only devotees who belong to none of the above mentioned groups are transcendental, as explained in Bhagavad Gita 14.26. Mam chayo vibhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samadhitvan brahma bhuyaya kalpade. One who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstance, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Lord Brahma herein advises Priyamada to remain transcendental in the fortress not of family life, but of the lotus feet of the Lord. Abjan Nabhangir Saroja. When a bumblebee enters the opening of a lotus flower and drinks its honey, it is fully protected by the petals of the lotus. The bee is undisturbed by sunshine and other external influences. Similarly, one who always seeks shelter at the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead is protected from all dangers. It is therefore said in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.58, Samsaridaye padapallava mahatpadam punya yasho murare bhavam dir valsa padam parambadam padam padam yat vibadam natesham. For one who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, everything becomes easier. Indeed, even crossing the great ocean of science, Pavambudi, is exactly like crossing the hoof print created by a calf, Valsapadam. For such a devotee, there is no question of remaining in a place where every step is dangerous. Our actual duty is to carry out the supreme order of the personality of Godhead. If we are fixed in our determination to carry out the supreme order of the Lord, we are always secure, regardless of where we are situated, whether in hell or in heaven. Here in the words Prakritim Bhajaswa are very significant. Prakritim refers to one's constitutional position. Every living entity has the constitutional position of being an eternal servant of God. Therefore, Lord Brahma advised Priyambata, be situated in your original position as an eternal servant of the Lord. If you carry out his orders, you will never fall, even in the midst of material enjoyment. Material enjoyment achieved by dint of one's fruitive activities differs from material enjoyment given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A devotee sometimes appears to be in a very opulent position, but he accepts the position to follow the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, a devotee is never affected by material influences. The devotees in the Krishna consciousness movement are preaching all over the world in accordance with the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They have to meet many karmis, but by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are unaffected by material influences. He has blessed them, as described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 7.129. Kabuna bad kabuna badibe tomara vishaya taranga punarabi aitani bhabi mora sange. A sincere devotee devotee who engages in the service of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by preaching his cult all over the world will never be affected by Vishetaranga, material influences. On the contrary, in due course of time, he will return to the shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and will thus have perpetual association with him. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमदे भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नदि नामिनि नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणि निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणि जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I would like to seek blessings from all the assembled devotees. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to purify myself. Please forgive me for any shortcomings or adding my own interpretation while presenting this class. In order to prepare this class, I got points from Rasaraj Das Prabhu's class. This chapter talks about the activities of Maharaj Priyamada. King Priyambada was not attached in material life. He's always attached in Bhakti Yoga. His father asked him to take over the kingdom, get the Grihastha life and have progenies, but he declined. Then Lord Brahma appeared while Priyambada was meditating. Then Lord Brahma started instructing him. That is the context of these two verses. So here Lord Brahma continues his instructions. In Sloka 18, Prabhupada talks about four varnas and four ashramas. We heard a lot about it. The four varnas or social roles are Brahminas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. The four ashramas or life stages are Brahmacharya, student, Grihastha, householder, Vanaprastha, forest dweller, and Sannyasa. This is for organizing the society by duty and life stages. It is also to control the senses for spiritual advancement. Here, Prabhupada states that one who conquers the mind is like a king who conquers his powerful enemies. Who are our enemies? It is not someone from outside. Our mind and senses are the biggest enemy. We have five knowledge acquiring senses such as eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin, which are all controlled by our mind. It is like having five horses. There's an analogy. It's like having five horses controlled by reins attached to a driver of a chariot, and a passenger is seated on the passenger seat at the back of the chariot. The five horses represent the senses. The driver represents the mind. The passenger represents the soul, and the chariot represents the body. The mind should be controlled by the intelligence. However, if the intelligence is weak, it cannot control the mind. Bhagavad Gita 6.34 says, Chanchalam hi manha Krishna pramadi balavadradam tasyaham nigraham mani vayor evasu dushkaram. Controlling the mind is more difficult than controlling the wind. When the mind is under control, everything becomes so easy. Keep Krishna in our subconscious mind. Keep Krishna in the center of whatever we do, detail all our activities in the service of Krishna. Then the mind can be controlled with a higher taste or higher purpose in life. A materialistic person may do the same activities, but the consciousness is different in the devotees. The devotee does everything for the pleasure of Krishna. A materialistic person performs everything for his own pleasure. The activities are same, but the intention is different. So Brahma's advice to Priyambada is accept the order, and instead of rejecting everything in this material world, accept everything and use all the activities and resources for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. This is called Yukta Vairagya. When we perform Yukta Vairagya, we are under Lord's shelter. The easiest way to control the mind, as suggested by Lord Chaitanya, is chanting the holy name. One must engage the mind fully in Krishna when chanting. We can stay in the material world, accept everything, and utilize the resources for Krishna's service. So, when we become Krishna conscious and learning about Krishna, the intelligence will become incredibly strong and can control the mind and senses because your higher intelligence is awakened and become a Jitendriya or conqueror of the senses and control and can control the agitated mind. In this stage, even if we are leading a household life or grahasthashram, we can control the lusty desires and eventually retire to vanaprastha and sannyasa. 19th sloka, Brahma continued his instructions to Priyamada. In the purport, Prabhupada talks about three kinds of men in the material world. Karmis, who are trying to enjoy the senses. Above them are jnanis, who are trying to conquer the urges of the senses. How jnanis do their activity is through their mental speculation, spiritual speculation, studies of different scriptures. And above them are yogis, who are already conquered the senses. They do meditation and get Paramatma realization or impersonal realization. Yogis, they already conquered their senses. But none of them are situated in the transcendental position. They are not getting the highest benefit. Highest benefit is Bhagavan realization. Devotees do not belong to these categories, but devotees are transcendental and they are in Bhagavan realization. Prabhupada says, Mam chayo vibicharena bhakti yogena sevade sagunan samadityan brahma bhuyaya kalpade. This purport. One who engages in devotional service does not fall down in any circumstances. Devotees would like to engage in the devotional service of the Lord, and he is under the protection of the Lord. Like the analogy of a bumblebee, which is described in this purport. Bumblebee enters a lotus flower to suck honey. It is fully protected by the petals, and the bee is undisturbed by the sunshine or other external influences. Same way, Prabhupada states that if we carry out the supreme order of the Lord in our constitutional position, everything becomes easier. So, what is our constitutional position? The constitutional position of a jiva is Krishnera Nityadas. So, here, Lord Brahma states that stay in your constitutional position as Krishnera Nityadas and do your responsibilities. You will never fall. You will not be affected by the modes of material nature and gets liberated and can easily cross the material nescience. We know crossing the samsara sagar, our material ocean, is very difficult, especially in this Kali Yuga. Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.58 says, Padam Padam Yat Vipadam Natesham. In every step, there is some danger. If you advance anything in material, you plant the seed of suffering. Devotees cross all this and do not face any problem because they are completely surrendered. This is the last statement of Brahma, and he finally convinced Priyamada. In this way, when we engage everything in Krishna's service, what happens? We enjoy ourselves and will be performing devotional activities, and thus the Lord will also be pleased. Materialistic people think that devotees are not enjoying and they are always engaged in bhakti, chanting, and doing some kind of sadhana, and they are not enjoying. That is not true. In reality, devotees are enjoying more than the materialistic person. How? Devotees perform different services for the pleasure of the Lord. So, anyway, they will enjoy. They also getting the spiritual benefit of going back to Godhead. So, both ways they are satisfied. Whereas a materialistic person, they may think that they are enjoying their life through various sense gratification, but they are facing so many miseries in their life. And at the same time, at the end of their life, they have to suffer further. They will go to hellish planets or take birth in another animal species based on wherever they left. That is why bhakti is so important. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 2, Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratiksha Agamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Abhyayam. Bhakti purifies this this knowledge is very secret. That's what Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam means. Bhakti purifies the devotee by destroying pap, bija, and avidya. Pap is the stockpile of past sins of endless lifetimes of the individual soul. Bhakti burns them up as a fire burns up a bundle of straw. Bija refers to impurities of the heart, which are the seeds of sinful activities. Bhakti purifies the heart and destroys the seeds of sin, which are lust, anger, and greed. Being faithful to both Krishna and the spiritual master is the secret of success in spiritual life. Brahma asked Priyambada to continue his duty as a king as well as become a householder and beget progenies. Continue the Kshatriya Dharma for some time and then give up the household life and worship the Lord and do the sadhana. Brahma advises to stay in his constitutional position as a servant of the Lord and do his responsibilities as a grihastha. He will never face any problem because he is under the shelter of the Lord. Like in Arjuna's case, Lord asked Arjuna to fight. It is not a peaceful situation to fight. Many people will die, including his relatives, elders, his gurus. Even Arjuna can lose his life. But it is the Lord's order he need to carry out. Krishna tried everything for compromise and to stop the war. Now the situation demands that the war should happen. Arjuna cannot escape from that. Similarly, even in Grihastha life and engaging in the devotional service by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, a devotee will never be influenced by the material influences or having fear of death. I would like to end here. Vanja kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu